The rain poured heavily as Sophie sat by the window of her tiny apartment. The storm outside matched the storm in her heart. Life had not been kind to her and her husband Daniel lately. Financial troubles were piling up, and it felt like every small step forward was met with an even bigger setback. But no matter how hard things got, Sophie knew one thing. Daniel was her rock, and she was his. Sophie and Daniel had met during their college days. She was studying art, and he was a business student with dreams of starting his own company. Their love had been instant. A whirlwind romance filled with laughter, dreams, and late-night walks under the stars. "You and me," Daniel used to say, holding Sophie's hand tightly. "We're unstoppable." Life seemed perfect when they got married a few years later. They moved into a cozy apartment and began building their future together. But soon, reality started to test their bond. Daniel's startup failed within the first year. He had poured all his savings into the business, and losing it was a crushing blow. "I feel like I've let us down," Daniel admitted one night, sitting on the couch with his head in his hands. Sophie knelt in front of him and cupped his face. "You haven't let me down. We'll get through this together. I believe in you." Her words gave Daniel the strength to keep trying. He took on odd jobs while working on his next idea, and Sophie supported them with her part-time teaching job. Just as they were beginning to find their footing, another challenge arose. Sophie was offered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to showcase her artwork in a gallery across the country. It was her dream come true, but it meant leaving Daniel for 6 months. "You have to go," Daniel said firmly when Sophie hesitated. "But what about us?" she asked, tears in her eyes. "Our love is stronger than any distance," he said, pulling her into a hug. The months apart were hard, but they talked every night. Daniel sent Sophie flowers on her opening day, and Sophie mailed him sketches of places she visited. Their love grew even stronger, proving that miles couldn't separate them. Just as Sophie returned, life threw them another curveball. Daniel was diagnosed with a serious illness. The news hit them like a thunderbolt. "I don't want you to have to take care of me," Daniel said one day, his voice weak but his eyes filled with worry. "Don't even say that," Sophie replied, her voice firm. "You've always been there for me, and now it's my turn." She became his caregiver, taking him to appointments, cooking his meals, and staying by his side through the worst days. Even when she was exhausted, she never let him see her cry. "I'm not going anywhere," she told him every time he apologized. "We're in this together." Slowly, Daniel began to recover. It wasn't easy, but Sophie's unwavering love gave him the strength to fight. One evening, as they sat on the couch, Daniel took Sophie's hand. "I don't know how I got so lucky to have you," he said. Sophie smiled. "We're lucky to have each other." Despite all the hardships, they never stopped finding joy in the little things. Dancing in the living room to their favorite songs, sharing midnight snacks, and laughing at old jokes. Years later, Daniel started a new business, one that finally succeeded. Sophie's art gained recognition, and they moved into a small but beautiful home. Their journey had been anything but easy, but every challenge had only strengthened their bond. One evening, as they sat in their backyard watching the sunset, Daniel said, "I used to think love was about grand gestures, but now I know it's about the quiet moments, the hard days, and the way we never gave up on each other." Sophie leaned her head on his shoulder. "It's about being unbreakable, no matter what life throws at us." Sophie and Daniel's story became an inspiration to those around them. Their love wasn't perfect, but it was real, strong, and enduring. They showed that true love isn't just about the happy moments. It's about standing together when everything seems to be falling apart. Through illness, distance, and financial struggles, they had proved that love, when nurtured with patience, trust, and resilience, could overcome anything. Their love was and always would be unbreakable.